So this game is dead right now, and it's all my fault. Hey, what's cracking, everyone? I'm Carl Asami, and today I wanted to share with you a tale of two repair jobs. It was the best of times, and it was the worst of times, and it's all my fault, and I wanted to share with you this little mistake I made in trying to repair a UN Squadron in particular. But let's start with what went right. So both of these cartridges had the same problem. The cartridge slots at the bottom of both of these were just very worn out. So when you tried to play these in a Super Nintendo, it was very finicky. You had to really kind of push them down all the way and then lift them up a little bit and kind of skew them until the game would launch. And even with that working, you know, sometimes if you jostled the system, it would cause things to misalign, and then you'd soft lock, and that's always been kind of annoying with both of these. So I decided to try to fix that. And you fix that, well, multiple ways, but I decided to tin the copper so that it's built up again and protected from corrosion. And this turned out really well. I'm going to show you what went right here. Later, I decided to do the same with this one. I did a rush job and I ended up tearing a pad off of this cartridge slot. And I damaged another one, possibly two. I'm going to have to go in and do some repair work. But first, I want to show you the inside of the Super Game Boy 2. So there's a close-up of those pads. They're a little bit worn out on this side, but it's not too bad. It was the other side that was just practically worn down to the PCB layer. So I went in and re-tinned all of that with some solder. I was very careful. I used Flux. I used a fine tip. And I've just very carefully applied some here, applied some here, here, and I just kept kind of cycling back and forth to make sure I was never overheating one side too long and too much. You never want to press down with the tip of your solder iron. You really just want to very carefully brush over the top. You don't want to apply any pressure to these pads, and you'll see why in a bit. This is what happens when you're not careful. I knew better. I knew how to do it right, but I was impatient. I did this with a wedge tip. It wasn't as clean as it should have been. I should have done some more cleaning on it before I used it. I didn't, and I did a rush job. On the very last pass, before I was done, I caused all this damage to this pad, probably the adjacent pad, and the one in the middle, totally removed from the board. So this game is dead right now, and it's all my fault. And so now, I gotta do a repair job that I've never done before. So on the bright side, I get to try something new, and hopefully learn something new. Okay, so my game plan is to use this very fine, double-sided, conductive copper tape. I still have to cut it down to size. It's a little bit too thick. As far as the lifted pad here, what I should do is remove it entirely and do the same thing, but I'm gonna try to cheat. I'm gonna use super glue underneath that and press it down, and I'm hoping there isn't enough damage to the top part of the trace here to where there's still a strong enough connection for that signal to go through. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I've never done a repair like this before. I'm hoping I can get away with just using this and some solder, and I won't have to add some bodge wires. So I've got like 500 of these little fine tip disposable brushes. I think I probably got them when I was working at the art store back in the day. I trimmed it down using these medical scissors that I got from a medical kit. And I'm going to use that to try to slip the super glue underneath that damaged pad. I hope it works. I applied super glue to that pad and used isopropyl alcohol to clean up the surrounding area. There shouldn't be any excess glue there. I'm pretty sure that will hold. Hopefully the connection wasn't damaged. I'm going to go in and try to add the extra pad there with the tape. We'll see how it goes. I managed to cut that copper tape down to size and laid it into place there. I used just a little bit, and I mean a little bit, of super glue around the edges. Super glue is not conductive. I don't want to ruin the signal strength there. Now I'm going to try to tin it, and we'll see if this works. There it is. I'm really hoping that's going to work. Oh, okay, it's the proverbial moment of truth. Did it work? It worked! Oh, thank God. Okay. I was really worried that I was going to have to either add bodges or buy a new PCB for this game. Whew! Okay, so don't do what I did. If you're gonna do retinning on your cartridges, take your time. Use Flux. Don't press down on the PCB. You don't even have to touch it, really. Let the heat transfer through the solder and the flux. And you won't tear a pad like I did. But if you do, there are ways to fix it. The way I did it is one of many ways. I'm sure there's probably other people with better ideas. If you've got better ideas or stories to share, I'd like to hear it, because I don't have a whole lot of experience doing this sort of stuff, so I'm still a beginner. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned something, and if not, I hope you at least had fun watching me bumble through this. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.